First of all, I need to open up Affinity, and then I want to open up a few files. So go to the File tab on the top there. I'm going to go to Open. I've used a couple of these files. You're going to need popcorn shapes to crop. Click on Open. You're going to need 2 new files, and I'm going to go to New, A4, and then Landscape. And I'm going to do that twice. So File, New, A4, and then Landscape. You're also going to need to open up the file called popcorn net file. There we go. One thing I'm also going to do in this particular instance is I'm going to make my workspace a bit cleaner to work with, and I'm going to remove this particular tab on the left hand side. So grab hold of the bit at the top there, drag it into the middle of the page, and press the little X button. And one thing you can do also is you can zoom in and out by holding the control button down and rolling your mouse, and that gives you a better view of your piece of work. So I've now got 4 files. I've got popcorn shapes to crop, popcorn net final, and 2 untitled files. So I'm going to show you how to work with Affinity now and get your popcorn net final piece of work done. Now, I want to work with 4 separate files. I'm going to work with a popcorn net file, which you can download off the learning portal. I'm going to work with popcorn shapes to crop, and I'm also going to work with a couple of other files as well. Now, the one on the left hand side here, I'm going to insert my picture. Now you can go to the place image tool. Now I've moved my picture from the learning portal into my area. I'm going to use the one I here called printing image. Click on open, and then you can just click and drag it onto your page. And I'm going to crop the bits I don't want. So little tool on the left there, the vector crop tool. Click and drag it across and remove the bits I don't want, and click and drag that side across like so. What I want to do as well is to brighten this up a little bit. So click on your piece of work, and down here on the right hand side there's an adjustment, and I'm going to change the brightness and contrast. I'm going to increase the brightness a bit just to make it so it looks a bit more impressive. There we go. Right, so now what I want to do is to copy and paste this across. So I've got 6 to 8 tiles on my page. I'm going to make it a touch smaller, and I'm going to use the Control C and Control V, and that will copy my 2 bits across. And then I'm going to select the whole thing, Control C and Control V, and bring it down. I'm going to select all of them, Control C and Control V, and I should now have a rack of 8, and that should allow me enough space to do my design work. I'm just going to select all of the pieces of work. I'm going to right click now, and I'm going to go to group, and they're all grouped together, move them across a bit to the left, and make them a little bit bigger so they fill the page on my landscape page. So I've now got a page here of my tiles. So I'm going to File, Save As, and I'm going to call it Tiles. That's my work is on my little tiles. So I've now got popcorn net final, popcorn shapes to crop, tiles, and an untitled page. Now you need to, this is the untitled pages where you're going to do all the work. So what you want to do, so Control C, drop it into the individual page, Control V, and then you want to take the popcorn shapes to crop one at a time. So I'm going to take that one, and this time I'm going to use Control X, which is cut rather than copy. So Control X, I'm going to drop it into here, Control V. You can see there's my design. I'm going to bring it over the top of my piece of work, right in the center, which is what I want to crop it out of. And then over on the right hand side here, I'm going to select the bottom group, and I'm going to bring them up and also to the right at the same time. So up and to the right, and that will cut out your design, your piece of work. Now you need to select the whole of that piece of work again, there, and I'm going to crop it out of here. So again, Control X, I'm going to drop it into my popcorn net final. So Control V, and there's my piece of work. And what I can do now is roll the mouse button, and I can rotate it so it's at the same angle. I can click and drag it into exactly the right place, just to twist it a little bit that way. And what you mustn't do is change the size of them. So there's that one done. Let's do the rest of them now. So I'm going to zoom out, go back to popcorn shapes to crop, and I'm going to take my tiles, select my tiles, so Control C, drop them into the untitled, Control V, take my popcorn shapes to crop, Control X, into the untitled, Control V, get that across in the center. And I'm going to again take my group at the bottom, bring them up and to the right, and it cuts out your piece of work. Now you can select the whole thing, Control X, drop it in the popcorn net file, Control V, and that should sit nicely in there. 2 more to go. So back to my untitled again, Control X, Control V, take my tiles, select my tiles, Control C, into the untitled, Control V. Now this is a little bit different now because what I've done is I've gone out the other way around. So I'm just going to take that group there and I'm going to put them on the top. Okay, so you can see now that the group at the bottom here is the one at the bottom of it, and that they're the lines I've got here at the top. So again, I need to put that over the top of the piece of work first. Drag it up and across to the top, and again, take my design, Control X, into my piece of work, Control V, bring it across, rotate it, shift it into the design. And the last one I'm going to do is I'm going to take the last piece of work, so the last one, so Control X on there, into here, Control V, take the tiles, Control C, my workspace, Control V, and I can then take it again. Remember what I've done, it's the wrong, the back to front again. So I'm going to take that one and drop it on top of there, move it across a little bit into the center, and I can take that and drag it up, take the whole lot, so Control X, put into my popcorn net final, Control V, and then it's down there, rotate it a touch, and sit it exactly in the right place. A little bit more to the left. And that's it. Roll out a little bit of the mouse, make sure to check it. Job done.